Before we take a look at the latest and greatest here at Liberty Coach, I heard you guys just threw quite the rally that may have topped all motor coach rallies in history.
I would have to think so. The Kentucky Derby rally was one for the record books without a doubt. I mean, it was the 150th anniversary of the Derby at Churchill Downs. We put that together starting last September. Got a lot of interest. It was expensive to say the least, but it was expensive to put on. I mean, we had our own private suite in the infield turf suites. You could almost reach out and touch winner's circle and the finish line. I mean, it was amazing. Everybody had a blast. I mean, it was a really great time.
Yes, sir. I was following the Liberty Coach social media account, and it looked like you guys were having a blast out there and already heard some stories. You guys definitely know how to throw a party, and I think you've got some more rallies coming up this summer to keep the owners entertained.
Yeah, we do. We've got our normal Sturgis event that we do. We'll be out there. We've got those sites already sold out. There's a bus and biker event that's coming up here in June. I'm actually leaving tomorrow to go to the Road Hogs rally that's up in Georgia. So we're on the move pretty much for sure. Then we of course have the 100th anniversary Prevost event rally in Quebec in September.
Yes, sir. It's great to see you out in the field using these coaches, spending time with your owners. You have your ear to the ground and your thumb on the pulse of the industry more than anyone I know. Now, what is the latest and greatest here with this 2024 coach?
This coach is brand new. We just got it in here last week. It's a custom unit for clients. This is their first Liberty coach. I believe it's their second Prevost unit. This took Dean over the top on paint. This was the most elaborate paint scheme I think that we've seen from him in a number of years. So this was quite the challenge, I believe, for him as well.
Yes, sir. There's some incredible details. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but it almost looks like the paint scheme is a three-dimensional look. Just incredible, yep. The detail work. And the color scheme, this is a refreshing color scheme.
It is.
Do you know what the inspiration was for this color scheme?
I don't know what it was, but actually the clients went to Dean's, visited with him as well, so they had their hand in the whole deal, so it was really cool.
What else is going on with this coach?
Well, we can go down to the bays here. As we showed in 908 in the last video, we've transitioned the bay designs to be handles on the drawers and on the doors. The laminate is a dark charcoal material, as well as look at it like a blackout feel to it. The carpeting's changed also as well. We have the slide out trays on either side of the bay here. We've got the tool drawer here as well, as we had previously. The second bay here, they asked for a portable table for storage for that, so we made accommodations for that as well. Again, the drawers up on top. We have the 65-inch rollout TV. Pretty standard fixture in what we do in our bays. We manufacture every part of that, so the whole pull-out mechanism, the swivel, all of that we manufacture in-house. Fourth bay here, we have the grill unit storage for the Kenyon grill. We have a rollout refrigerator, combination refrigerator freezer unit. A little different setup as far as that goes. Drawer above here as well.
This is really cool to see that incredible paint scheme on this Crestron panel here. That's something I've seen Liberty Coach do for quite a while now with the custom paint scheme to this coach. What type of programming goes into little details like that?
Well, it's pretty involved because we do that not only on the Crestron panels, but the iPads as well. So we take the rendering of the exterior paint scheme, it's digitized once again, and then we do a download in the graphics package so that it comes up on the Crestron screens and the iPads as well. It would also then be on your iPhone if you're doing remote access also. You'll have the same graphics.
Yeah, very cool detail, and I believe you're a Crestron programmer and your son is a Crestron programmer as well?
Yep.
And how long have you been working with Crestron in these buses?
I brought Crestron actually into the industry in 2001, and we pretty well went standard with it on every coach in 2003. So quite a long time. Fourth bay back here, we end up with part of the bay here for storage and a toolbox, which was requested by the client. We've got 200 gallon of fuel capacity here, so you have fuel access here to fill the coach on both sides, so passenger side and driver side. This arrangement here is the condenser for the driver's air conditioning system. Fifth bay, different than what we've seen in the past, starting with coach 908, a full blackout appearance here. And then we have the water bay, which has the stainless steel fresh water tank, the aluminum holding tank. We have the reverse osmosis filtration system here, which goes to the ice maker and the dispenser at the refrigerator. We've got a 40-gallon water heater, which is electric, that is also heated from the main engine. It's also heated from the hydronic heating system that's in the coach as well. So the 83,000 BTU S-bar diesel-fired furnace heats the main engine in winter conditions and also heats the hot water also. Filtration system, you've got a tankless water heater to the shower valve, so if you did have a problem with the water heater, at least you'd still have hot water to the shower with the tankless system there. You can dump fresh water from this side, you can dump the holding tank from this side, as well as fill fresh water on this side. So we have a lot of availability for filling and dumping the coach. This coach also has a pressure washer. You've got a 100-foot hose back here. All of the apparatus for the pressure washer is located back here as well. And it has the DI filtration system, which is in the first bay on the driver's side. So you've got deionized water coming through here, so it makes the coach spot-free when you're washing it.
It's very clean and very industrial. I was in this business for several years. That's a commercial grade power washer. This is all commercial grade equipment. Is this a newer configuration than we've seen in past coaches, or is that the same configuration?
That's pretty much the same way that we've done it on the past coaches as well. We have a starboard shore power input here, so in case the cord reel were to fail, you could take a cord and plug the coach up here. You have a 30 amp 220 outlet there that would go to your trailer if you had a stacker trailer or a trailer that you wanted to power up when you're sitting still, not when you're driving, but you could power that up off the generator or off of shore power as well. Engine, 500 horsepower, Volvo D13, 1,850 foot-pounds of torque. This engine's been the standard in our industry for Prevost since mid-2012, so it's been a real great machine for us all the way around. Serviceability, reliability, fuel mileage on the coach. Because of the new 9660 with the new front end arrangement and the rear caps as far as the reduced drag and the better aerodynamics, we're seeing close to 8 miles to the gallon now. When you're not towing a vehicle, we're hearing the mileage in the 7s easy. I haven't got much experience as far as driving with a stacker trailer to be able to get any input on that. Hopefully this summer I'll be able to do that as well. This coach has the belt guard on it. The belts that are sitting in here are under constant tension all the time. This side over here, there's an air bellows that keeps this side tightened so that the belts are under constant tension. This has to do with the serviceability from Prevost. As we've touched on in the past, nobody has the track record of serviceability and their longevity as far as that goes than Prevost. I mean, there's millions and millions of miles behind the engineering of this coach, which is why it's so easy to service and why it's probably the best as far as that with any chassis manufacturer, period.
Yes, sir. I would say we see more Prevosts that are 20, 30 plus years on the road over any other RV out there. You don't see 20, 30-year-old coaches running around.
No.
Beautiful styling on the rear end with this new cap, and there's so much intricate detail work in that paint scheme, but the lighting here on the rear of the coach is really bright. Is that a standard featured on Liberty?
Yeah, so we do the undercarriage lighting as standard, and then we added the rear engine door as a standard package. I believe it's been a little over 2 years ago now. So whatever color we have going on here is the same that you'll have on the engine door. On the gate, some people have multicolor, so it'll be multicolor back here as well. You did touch on the back of the coach. You can see this cap arrangement above this clearance lights. That is ours. That is what Kurt designed in better part of 2 years in development, with the rear cap and the front cap on the coach, as well as the dash and the front end treatment where the Liberty Coach logo is as well. So it's quite the accomplishment all the way around. The whole cap is engineered to take into account the chimney that's there for the exhaust. So instead of just making an opening there for that and then use what Prevost has with it, we built a chimney, or Kurt designed the chimney to be inside of that cap arrangement as well. So when you look at the top of the coach, it's totally flush. It's stainless steel, it's polished up there as well, so it's a very clean installation. We talk about this quite a bit, how clean and nice the slides are on the bottom side. They're totally finished on the bottom. This is something that Prevost does, plus obviously when Dean, his guys are doing the paint jobs as well, it's totally finished underneath, smooth. Paint follows through the front and back side of the slides as well. If we have the windows open, you could see that the paint goes through the underside of the windows as well.
Yes, sir, and this is a huge slide here in the back of the coach. Is this the bedroom super slide?
Yeah. So this is the super slides, on both sides of the bedroom. So this is the super suite. So these slide rooms are 40 inches longer than the standard size slide. So we've been doing that now standardly on our coaches for almost 3 years in the back.
And are these slides from Prevost or from an aftermarket
No,
company?
they're Prevost slides. We, as Liberty Coach, since the slides came out from Prevost in 2001, we have done only Prevost slides. Never have we ever used an aftermarket slide in our coach.
And I've seen some of the other converters use different types of aftermarket slides in coaches. Is there a reason that you haven't used some of the aftermarket slide rooms?
Yeah, because of the fact that if anything were to go wrong with the slide, Prevost's there to take care of it. So if we've got an issue where a slide room causes some kind of damage to the interior of what we would do, Prevost will stand behind that. The other part of it is that Prevost engineers the slide rooms, builds them themselves, engineers the chassis for those specific slide rooms also. So you're not involving a third party into the mix here, that if something, some time down the road would go wrong because of a different aftermarket slide system, who would we start pointing fingers at? So that's why we stayed with them.
And on that note, what is the warranty on this coach between the Prevost side and the Liberty Coach side?
So on the new warranty from Prevost, 2-year warranty on the shell, and then you've got a 5-year warranty on the engine and 5-year on the transmission.
And what's the Liberty Coach warranty on this?
So the Liberty Coach warranty is going to be 1 year. On a new coach, it then has a lifetime workmanship warranty to the original owner as well. So what that covers is what we build on the inside. So if the fresh water tank, for an example, leaks, we built that tank, we would replace it for the life that the owner has the coach, the first owner. So, you know, if there's a cabinet issue, something like that, these are things that we would take care of. If there's something that goes wrong on a particular part and it's because of our installation that we did, that would be also covered on the workmanship warranty as well.
And I've got to ask, if there's a squeaker or a rattle,
we take care of it.
The only one I know that can say that.
So fifth bay on the driver's side here, the stainless steel fresh water tank that's polished. We've got a stainless steel polished cap on the aluminum holding tank. You've got the air dump valves here. For the holding tank, you've got an air dump valve, and then you have a gray water bypass here as well. So you can bypass the gray water into a garden hose, onto the ground, into a storm sewer if it's so available in where you're at. We also have a 100-foot electric hose reel here. This is electric retract and it's manually pulled out. We also have a hand sprayer here for cleaning out the sewer hoses. Sewer hoses are stored up here as far as that goes. You've got two. One is a 14-foot and then there's another 14-foot extension as well. You have the ability to flush the holding tank. There's a specific button here for flushing out the holding tank. So that'll take the fresh water or whatever's coming in as far as the city water, and you can use that to flush the holding tank out. If you had to, these bungs are on the top here that if you had to fill fresh water because the system wasn't working properly and you needed to get water, you could put a hose into the top here, and here this can be used for washing out the holding tank if you wanted to also.
And if for some reason one of these buttons doesn't work, just pressing the button, is there another backup way to dump the tanks?
Yeah. So on the valve itself, the valve block where the hoses for the air system go into it, there's a manual button on the side there that you can push to operate the valve so you can dump the tank. That leads into redundancy. We have the hard panels for Crestron or push buttons, you know, because like for an example on an iPad, if you have a Wi-Fi hiccup, then at least you have the ability to have redundancy into that. And we build the redundancy down in the mechanical systems as well. So if you do have a failure on the air system for like dumping the tank, you can manually actuate the valve as opposed to having to do it electronically. So there's all kinds of redundancy built into our coach.
Yes, sir. And I can imagine when you're out there at the rallies with the owners, any little problem that may come up, you're right there in the mix with everybody. So I'm sure you have a lot of experience just making sure the overall experience is smooth.
My tools go with me everywhere I go, for
yes,
sure.
Sir.
Here we have the driver's side fuel fill and also where you would fill the DEF. We've talked about this quite a bit. We're looking at a situation here where you're not having to get underneath a slide or get into a compartment to do DEF, or the DEF is located in a different area than the fuel fill is. So you have fuel fill on this side and DEF fill here, and this isn't a locking door as far as that goes. Fourth bay here, driver's side, we have storage bins. We've done this in different arrangements as you've seen, as far as a closet with storage bins or just the bins. So there's different ways that we can utilize this space.
Now, if someone had a custom idea that they wanted to utilize this space for something totally custom, is that something that Liberty Coach is able to do?
Certainly.
Are there any wild ideas that owners have come up with, or any challenges?
You know, not really so much. I mean, you know, it's been, how can we get more storage, or let's do a closet in here, or, you know, can we put some folding bikes in there? You know, how can we put a rack in there to be able to do that? So, you know, there's different challenges that come up as far as that goes, and we try and accommodate them as best we can. Third bay here, driver's side, is going to be the generator. So this is a 12.5 kW Onan unit. We put it inside of our own hush box as far as our manufacturing process, plus the unit comes in its own hush box as well. So it is very quiet and vibration free. Second bay here on the driver's side is going to be basically the brains of the electronics. Most of the electrical architecture is done down here as far as breakers for the individual distribution boxes or distribution panels that are in the coach for both 12 and 24 volt. Transfer case for shore power generator and inverter power is done here. We manufacture that also. We have a buddy plug here as well, so if you needed to run something off the generator like your house or another coach, you could do that also. This is the brains for the Volta 58 volt house battery system, the lithium ion package that we have been doing since 2017. That's been very successful for us. We have also 3 5,000 watt inverters on this coach. 2 of them can be piggybacked to 220 volt. So you can run the Mealy microwave convection oven as well as the dryer in the coach if you wanted to. So there's a lot of variables that you can do, so you're not having to be so dependent on the generator all the time. Most of our customers that have these coaches have very little hours on the generator, and that's because of how much power we have in the Volta lithium ion packs and be able to run so much equipment going down the road off the alternators that are on the engine. So we have 2 10,000 watt alternators back there that are recharging this system all the time. So very reliable.
Yes, sir. No one else is doing a lithium system of this level. I know there's a substantial cost to this system. What is the approximate cost just for this lithium system?
When we get the pallet that comes in with the entire package, which is going to be the Volta battery systems, the brains, the inverter packages, the alternators, what have you, when it comes in on the pallet, it's right about $90,000. And then you got to install it, obviously, so it's a big price.
Yes, sir, and I've seen, you know, everybody in the industry has been kind of piggybacking on what you guys have been doing for over a decade now, but I'm seeing some lithium battery systems that don't have nearly the level of, you know, inverters and equipment, but they're a lot less expensive, and they're just putting like lithium batteries for like 20,000 bucks in a coach. What's the difference between those systems and the system you're using?
Well, there's different levels of lithium ion. There's like 5 different levels, okay? So you have the type that you basically have on your telephone or on your different equipment that would be in your home or that you might use. That's a lower grade material, and you have to look at longevity. I mean, we are looking at a system here that we believe is going to last possibly as long as the shell, okay? So there's expense that is brought into that as well. So the other batteries that are out there that are less expensive don't have the longevity, they don't have the capacity as well that we have to be able to take all of this equipment and run it for as many hours as we can. So you look at this on this particular coach, you could run 1 air conditioner and, you know, utilizing the normal equipment that you would be using in a coach for 15 hours before the generator is going to start to recharge the system. But with that said, if you get the system, or when it gets down to 20% of state of charge, you can start the main engine up and drive down the road for 2.5 hours and be back at 100% of charge. I mean, nobody can tell you that.
Yes, sir, and that's one of those things that really justify that high price tag. I think this is the highest level, but no one else is doing it to that level.
For sure. On here, we've got the first bay driver's side, so we have the DI tanks here for the water filtration of the pressure washer, which we saw in the rear engine compartment. This has a media in there that gets changed out occasionally, as you know. We also have the amplification for the driver's stereo system down here as well, and the other rollout tray. So we've got, again, the rollout trays on either side of the front bay. So you got all kinds of storage, all kinds of height in here as well.
These lawn chairs, I don't know if I've seen this pattern. Do you mind if I pull this out here? Yeah, this is kind of a newer style fabric. Does that match the awnings?
Matches the awnings, yeah.
Okay, have you done this color
occasionally,
fabric?
Yep, occasionally.
Very cool style with
Yep.
that Liberty Coach embroidery, and I've seen chairs over 30 years old that still hold up well. Come around to the front end, more aerodynamic style, but what else is going on up here, sir?
Well, you know, this has got both the e-mirrors on it, the electronic mirrors, as well as the standard mirrors. This is the configuration that you'll see on all the coaches here moving forward. So they'll have both mirrors here. At some point, there'll be a cap cover that'll be available, that if people wanted to take these mirrors off, they could, and just use the e-mirrors if they want to. This is the new 9660 with the new shape of the front end, the taller windshields, the taller windshield wipers, the whole new front end, the headlights, how this is all more rounded in here. We have the frunk, as they call it, which opens up down to be able to access the synchronous windshield wiper motors, as well as the defroster AC fans. As far as being able to service that, you can do that from the front now, as opposed to having it go through the dash. This whole front end arrangement with the Liberty Coach logo that's illuminated, that was another design from Kurt that he did. The front bumper arrangement is similar to what we had in the past, but it's done in 3 pieces now. It's a single piece that hinges down, but it's now in 3 pieces. So if you do end up damaging it, you can just replace the single panel as opposed to the whole deal.
Yes, sir. That backlit Liberty Coach logo with this new Liberty Coach style, very aggressive. Your brother did a great job with that design.
He did a great job.
Your brother did a great job designing the caps, but your sister-in-law knocked it out of the park with the interior design on this one.
That's beautiful.
You think we'd take the folks inside?
Absolutely, let's do it.
Awesome. This interior is a totally different style, very warm, comfortable, very nice feel in this coach. Do you know what the inspiration was for this design?
You know, I think that the client is down to earth, if you will. They're super nice. They had their thoughts as far as when they came in. We spent some time together with them. It was actually back in November when we did this. They had some really good ideas of what they wanted to do, and I think Kim pulled it together for them really well.
Yeah, absolutely. Another backlit stone backsplash, just absolutely incredible. Yep. Have we seen this?
This is not one that we've seen before. The other ones that we've seen have been a lot brighter, some of them. This one's got some other colors that are going into it, which doesn't make it as bright. So it's a little bit more subdued. So this is a nice little change to that. There's quite a bit of features that are going on in the coach, you know, as far as texture-wise goes. When you look at this accent wall that's back here, again, this was a super slide in the rear, so it is a bath and a half as well, and it has the extended galley. So we have the extended galley here with the single living room chair and the cabinet up front here to be able to utilize as a desk or storage, whatever, however you want to do it.
What's going on in the cockpit area here, sir?
Well, in here is where a lot of time was spent with Kurt doing design work when the new 9660 was debuted. So again, there's about 2 years worth of work in here for the dash and the caps on the coach. The dash here is completely redone to be able to have the switch locations where they are, convenient location here with it. This was changed on this side. We have the full iPad Pro here, the 12-inch unit. We have a nice 10-inch display on a Pioneer radio here, which you can snap your phone into the charging station that's over here, and then you can AirPlay or Android CarPlay the systems back and forth, so you can bring your navigation up here. We have the e-mirror displays that are here on the driver windshield post and on the center post here. This coach also has an additional monitor above this passenger side display for rear camera, which can also be for a trailer camera. We have a number of cameras that are on the coach. Not only our 360 camera system, which we debuted exclusively on the coaches in 2016, and we continue to use those, as well as a bird's eye camera view system. We also have the lane departure now with Prevost. We also have the blind spot detection system, which are displays that are here below the e-mirror displays. So you've got a lot of safety features that are going on here. We have a camera that not only looks at the back of the coach, but we have another one that'll view right on the hitch ball itself. So there's a significant amount of view here for safety. Steering wheel, all the different controls that we have now for being able to operate different systems on the dash display that Prevost has. We've got the leveling system over here now, the valid system. The valid system is a change from what we used to do, because now the Prevost leveling system has 2 leveling valves in the front axle, which it previously only had 1, and then you had 2 in the rear. So we have more flexibility now on the leveling also. New on the 9660 then also is a push button start. So you've got a key fob arrangement just like you have in a car, and then you have a push button start system here. So it's elevated the technology of the coach and the operation significantly with the 9660. The other thing that you're going to notice here is more air vents for supply for air conditioning and heat. Previously we only had them down here that would blow basically at the waist area. Now we have them that'll blow up higher, which has significantly increased the airflow. There's also changes to the passenger side also, so the passenger also has a vent that blows directly at them now too. The stitching that you'll see that's on this dash and the way that we upholster it is second to nobody in the industry.
Yes, sir, and mentioning stitching, no one else in the industry is doing this double stitch that we see on these seats here with that diamond pattern. This is just beautiful with a two-tone with the cream and tan, and I've seen other RV companies doing patterns, but not to this level of detail. You have that perforated leather inside of the diamond stitch. Very intricate detail.
Well, it's the way that we design it. You really can't go through a catalog and say, okay, fine, this is what we want. You know, this is things that Kim and Kurt put together and then request the leather to be done a certain way, the stitching to be done a certain way, so that it comes out to the quality that we're looking for.
You can see a huge advantage with these new e-mirrors, just the ergonomics and visibility, but what are some of the other advantages and reasoning for Prevost going with these e-mirrors?
You have a lot of safety considerations here. You know, you have more visibility with it. It also quieted down the air noise on the front of the coach going down the road. So there's a lot of things that happened here with the front end changes, but the e-mirrors were a big bonus because of the additional visibility that you have down the side of the coach. Nighttime visibility with this is also enhanced. The vision at night is incredible. You wouldn't think that it would be, but they are very sensitive to light, especially in the dark arrangement. Even in foggy conditions, I've had customers come back and say that they're very impressed with how well they can see the traffic and vehicles and what have you, even when the weather's very poor. Colors in here, again, we talked about it. They're, you know, more subdued. They're warm feeling. So I think this will last.
Yes, sir. Yeah, timeless design for sure, and a little more of a rustic feel. Now, these floors are a wood style floor that I don't think we've seen in any newer Liberties.
This is a newer style of floor for us as far as the texture and the color. Plank size is larger as well, as opposed to being smaller. Being laid the way that it is makes the coach feel bigger also. So there's some differences in here. This has the bar top obviously here. Does not have the cabinet with the TV, so you get bigger window, more space here as well. Handles up in here, nice. You know, some of the coaches we videoed have had cabinets that have handles, some don't have handles. So, you know, it's just difference as far as what their preferences are, is what they want to do. Lots of drawer space. Again, all of our drawers are going to be lines. That also makes it quieter going down the road as well. Better finish. Even in the bottom cabinet here, some of the stuff that we have as far as the liners are different from cabinet to cabinet because of the fact that if something spills in here, it's going to be easier to clean up than others. Cooktop here, we've got the Wolf induction cooktop. We've got the Mealy microwave convection oven unit here. This is 220. I mentioned before that on our inverter setup that we have, that you can run this on the inverters going down the road because we can piggyback the two of them together. Coffee maker here. Normally you see the Keurig unit. This is a Brew Express. They wanted to have a unit that had the pot as far as carafe, so that's what we have here. And then storage above there as well. Overhead cabinet storage. We've got storage and shelving above. Everything's lit. All of our cabinets, when you open it up, are lighted.
Is there sleeping up front here in the living room?
Yeah, so this couch does come down electrically. There's a switch up there on the forward arch that you can press and then it'll jackknife down. We do have storage underneath the couch also. So you do have the ability to sleep additional people. Ottomans, pretty cool, nice setup here. Gives it a little bit more warm feeling.
Yes, sir, and a different style than we've seen before. And these could be moved around easily, I can imagine. Maybe even used as a seat if someone needed. Yeah.
Absolutely, sure can.
And we've seen some of these newer style chairs. It almost looks like a modern style, but it turns into a recliner, I believe.
So this is electrically operated, so it's got an electric footrest that comes out as well as recline also. And it is movable, so and it's on a swivel, so you have some availability to move stuff around if you need to to whatever comfort you want to be at, watching TV, conversing with people, however you want to do it.
Yes, sir. And one of the things that impresses me the most about the Liberty coaches is when I see a 10 or 20-year-old Liberty coach, how well all of the materials hold up. And I'm seeing these different leathers that have a very rich texture to them. What's the longevity of these different materials?
Well, you know, the quality of what we use in the coach has always been very high level. So that's why you go into a coach of ours on the lot here that's, you know, 10, 15 years old, and most of them still have the same leathers on the couches, the same fabrics in them, and they do look pretty good. I mean, yes, they look a little aged or they may look a little worn, but as far as the durability part of it, we do use some very high quality materials. So the driver and passenger seat, this chair, the couch here is going to be a leather. You know, it's a nicer, thicker leather, so it's going to have some durability to it. The other fabrics that we use are going to be high quality, durable as well, stain resistant as much as possible. So there's a lot of things that we do in the coach like that. Even the ceiling systems, the ceiling materials, the wall fabrics, all of that you'll see in here is very durable and high quality. And it also makes the coach quieter on the inside also. So you don't have some of those hard surfaces that other people do, which echo and vibrate and what have you.
Yes, sir, and I'm a detail person, and I'm in a lot of different coaches, and I'm looking at the small little details like corners where, you know, where different areas are connecting, and I'm never seeing, you know, adhesive seeping or stuff like that. What is it about the way that you build the coaches where 10 or 15 down the roads, we're not seeing, you know, seams starting to pull out, where, you know, it just holds up together so well?
The ceiling systems, for an example, are the last thing that typically goes into our coach. So all of the cabinetry is built as a piece of furniture. So the cabinetry is then secured directly to the beamwork of the coach. If there's not a beam there, then we'll put a stringer in its place, and then we secure directly to that. That way, when the ceilings are going into the coach, they're tight. They're as close to the roof line as possible. That also is part of the reason why we have such little squeaks and rattles or no squeaks and rattles in a coach, because the cabinetry goes right to the framework of the coach. It's not being crushed up into the ceiling systems, which then begins to give over a period of time and you get movement. So all of the tight tolerances that we have are achieved because of the way that we build the interior of the coach. And yes, you can be in a coach of ours that's many years old, sit there and sit in the chair and look around and what have you, and those tolerances are still there. You don't see things opening up. You don't see the problems that you have inherently in other manufactured coaches.
Yeah, just incredible at how well these coaches hold up. And the only one in the industry, the warranty squeaks and rattles to the original owner for the lifetime of the coach.
Well, and it also shows when you go into the cabinetry of the coach. Like, we have access panels everywhere in the coach. So when you pull an access panel out, it's a machined access panel. It's not like you take a cover off and it looks like somebody used a chainsaw in there. Not to be rude, but I mean, that's what it looks like in some of these other units that are out there. All of our stuff is machined to be in a certain position, and it looks like it's meant to be there. And same way the wiring's done, same way that we do everything. It all is very neat and put together.
Talking about that lifetime workmanship warranty, you're out there at the rallies with all of the owners, so they hold your feet to the fire, I'm sure.
Absolutely. I mean, we created the lifestyle. I believe that. When my parents started this business and were the first charter members of the Prevost Proud Group in the late 70s, early 80s, you know, we created the lifestyle, and we continually feed that. And we have to, because I believe that if we don't give people a reason to use it, they're not going to keep it. So that's why we're always out there in front of the people, doing the rallies, making the events happen, take them to another level. That's why we do it.
Yeah, no doubt. And even like 10 years ago when I was working in the RV resorts, when the Liberty Coach crew rolled in, we knew the big timers were in town.
So in here we have the big rollout pantry system. We've been doing that here for the last year or so with making that standard. You've got the refrigerator, the Fisher Paykel unit that looks like a piece of cabinetry that's here. It doesn't look like a refrigerator. Right here, dual door, and then the freezer drawer below with the ice maker in here as well.
And I don't know if I've seen this color on this style of door yet, or?
I don't know if we have. It's been a while if we have done it. We've done these doors we manufacture in-house. They're solid. And there's no rattle here at all. The chevron design here. This is the Jack and Jill bathroom that we've been known for. So you have dual access. When the air pocket door that's here is closed on the hallway, you still have the ability to get in and out of the bathroom here. In fact, when Denise and I, my wife, use the coach quite often, we may leave this door closed and we'll just transition through the coach to the bathroom. That way this stays private back here. So it's just a different way to use the coach as far as that goes. All kinds of different textures and different things going on in that bathroom. Just a way to bring the countertop material through the bathroom as far as that goes, as opposed to just being on the vanity top itself. All kinds of storage up here. These are all opening mirror doors. So you've got all kinds of storage up in there as well. Below also.
And very well lit, even that indirect lighting kind of below that countertop edge. Very neat.
This was a different request from the customers not to do the mirrored ceiling in the bathroom. So it's an upholstered ceiling here as opposed to being mirrored.
So this being the super suite, we've got a lot of room back here with these super slide rooms.
Oh, there's no question. I mean, again, like we said outside, they're 40 inches longer than your standard size slide. That's why it's been so popular for us to build this arrangement, because it gives you so much room back here, plus it gives you more storage at the end of the day. I mean, this has got closets on either side. They opted to have shelves put in here as well, so you've got the closet rod as well as the shelving, which again is removable. Nice drawer space here as well. Mirror on the back side of this door. It's going to be the same on the forward one as well. So both of these closets are going to be identical. So this is going to be the forward one here. Then we've got the clothes hamper down here in the bottom. You point out the stiffeners that we do on the back side of the closets all the time as well. We do that to keep the door straight, because over a period of time, sometimes these doors will start to creep one way or another, and those will keep the doors straight. We have the king size bed back here. We're king size in width, and we cut it back here about 4 inches on the length. That way it gives a little bit more room in here as well. And then we've got the radius corners here to make it easier to get around. The headboard arrangement that we have back here, some people have made comments about cross ventilation. So we do have the ability for cross ventilation. We have windows that open up on both sides. That headboard, as a matter of fact, just pops right off, and then you can use that window as an escape as well. So that's pre-planned. We have charging stations here on either side of the bed. They're flat inductive charging stations, and then of course we have the outlets back here as well. We do a significant amount of outlets in our coaches. Plus the outlets have USB ports built to them as well. So you have the charging capability also.
Yes, sir. And just one of the details that I get really impressed with Liberty Coach is the ceiling inside of the bedroom slide room with this intricate woodwork and lighting and detail work. You have more indirect lighting here, more indirect lighting here. It's such an over-the-top design.
Well, and you can't hide anything there either, because as it's being lit, if there's any hiccups or any mistakes or any flaws, it's definitely going to be able to be seen. So that's another testament to the quality of what we build. On either side of the bed here, we've got nice closet arrangements. So you got closet on both sides, forward and aft. And then we've got big deep drawers that are in here as well. So again, it does give you quite a bit of storage in the coach as far as that goes. Wall panel in here, this is a little bit different, the upholstered panel, as opposed to being mirrored. Bathroom arrangement back here, this is the full bath in the back, so you've got a shower. I believe it is the largest shower that is in the industry. Nice glass door on here. We have the shower pan. We speak about this a lot. The shower pan is a stainless steel pan that we weld up in our shop. That keeps the water from getting out of the pan ever. That also is part of how the whole shower system is built, because the pan is done in stainless steel, it's set in the floor, and then we have rock board that goes around it. That's all sealed as well, so that keeps the shower from water from impregnating out of the shower. Other than the door, if the door is not closed, you're not going to get any water out of here, which means 15 years from now, 20 years from now, you come into the coach, you're not going to have that moldy smell in the coach, period.
And honestly, I've been in a lot of coaches, and when you talk about that, I'm trying to think back of different Liberties that I've been in. I don't know if I've ever been in a Liberty 20 years old with that smell, and almost every, I mean, it happens in motorhomes, no doubt.
So lighting, we do a significant amount of lighting in the coach. We're always hearing people talk about it. Everything's too dark, hotel rooms are too dark, everything's too dark. We have a lot of lighting in our coaches so that people can get themselves made up pretty and they look great. Yeah. Lots of storage in here. You've got storage all the way along, drawer storage by the vanity as well. We've got a cabinet in here. It's got our electronics. You can see how neat everything is done back here as far as the audio video systems. This particular coach has just the HD satellite on it. More and more people are going with Starlink and going to streaming, so we're starting to see some of that satellite TV being faded out and going more into streaming. We have on board here internet access being a dual 5G system, so we see download speeds in the hundreds of meg per second, and that's pretty reliable throughout the whole country. I don't know that we've really ever seen a hiccup. It also works up in Canada as well. So we have a program with that that's unlimited data, and it is a fixed rate. So you're not getting throttling prices or, you know, different things for packages if you blow through it or what have you. So we've got a pretty stable package here as far as that goes.
Frank, I greatly appreciate you showing us this incredible coach. Now, what is your current pre-owned inventory, and what's the current backlog if someone wants to order a new Liberty coach?
Ordering a new coach right now, it looks like we're going to be into probably November of 2025. Those will be 26 model units. We have inventory-wise on our used right now 9 coaches that are in inventory, some consignments, some that we own. We have some good inventory in the Motorhome Exchange, our other company that's here as well. So if you get on the website, either look at the motorhomeexchange.com, which that's going to be inventory that's outside of 10 years of production of Liberty Coach, or it's going to be non-Liberty Coach product. You can email into Dave Wall, who runs that company as far as that goes. And then we have the Liberty Coach website, which has all the current new and used inventory if we have anything new. That one you can go in at libertycoach.com. You can also email coachsales@libertycoach.com. We don't talk about it too much. There's also a service email address that we utilize, serviceoffice@libertycoach.com. So if anybody wants to email in with issues or questions that they have, they can utilize that. You can phone in 800-554-9877, or you can call directly to the salespeople that are there also. There's another part of the website, which is the owner's portal. You did some of the videos that are on there. If you email in with your coach production number and information that's requested on there, then you'll get the password to be able to get into some instructional videos for operation of the coach as well. So pretty in-depth website, and then also, you know, you can see what's going on as far as our different events.
As far as servicing, does Liberty Coach only service Liberty coaches, or do you service other Prevost
We will
conversions?
service what we sell. So if there's units out there that are non-Liberty product that we've sold, we will certainly service those. The manufacturing facility in North Chicago specifically is for Liberty Coach product only, and then down here in Stuart, Florida, we service the other stuff that we sell.
And I've got to compliment your social media team. They do a great job at keeping folks in the loop of the different coaches coming in here. So definitely worth checking out Liberty Coach's social media to follow the latest inventory. Well, Frank, I know your time is very valuable. Appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Also greatly appreciate all of you subscribing to the channel. We hope you're all having a great day. Thanks again.
Thank you.